Brandon, you got something?
Hey, Coach Jones, what's up with all these inequalities?
What's up with them is a good question. Today we're going to be graphing them, is what's up with them. So, if you remember yesterday, all you had to do is y equals mx plus b, these things. Today, some of them will be in y equals mx plus b. Some of them you're going to have to get in the y equals mx plus b. Tyler. Go. Okay, so first thing is, we're going to try to get these things like yesterday into mx plus b. Either y is less than mx plus b or y is greater than mx plus b. Or less than or equal to mx plus b or greater than or equal to mx plus b. Now when you graph inequalities, you should know how to graph lines, y equals mx plus b. When you graph inequalities, there's two types. There's going to be a dotted line and a solid line. Now if your thing is just that it doesn't have the equals, if you have just less than or just greater than, that's a dotted line. So you'll graph your mx plus b, which will do it dotted. If you have less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, you're going to do your mx plus b line, but you're going to do it solid. Think back, earlier in the year we did inequalities and we would just put a dot and an arrow. If we had one of these, we would do an open dot. So we had less than or greater than, open dot. If we had less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, solid dot. Just like solid line. If you got the equal to, you got a solid line. Now additionally, after you graph your line, so there's more to it than just putting the dotted and solid line. If you graph your line, so this is your line right here. If you graph it and you're a less than, so you got y is less than mx plus b. You graph your line and then you shade everything below. So all the less thans get shaded below. If you graph your line and you're greater than, we shade above. So that's the next thing we want to make a note of. If you got a less than or a less than or equal to, where do we shade? Below. Shade below. Or shade down. If you got a greater than or greater than or equal to, shade where? Shade above or shade up. A lot of times you can just look at the problem and we don't have to do any work. Just understand the dot and the shade and we're done. Like this first one. Let's go and look at this.
What was the other one? Or
We got shade below or shade above. Shade below or shade above. All right, here's the first one. Now remember, these are actually from the objective. I'm trying to tell you, this is like easy. 2 out of 3 problems today. Easy. Don't shake your head and say no. This is easy. You had to do it without doing the notes yet. So now, here's the notes. Is this in mx plus b?
Yeah.
It is. So that's good. Watch your big feet kicking this camera out. Then it's going to start filming that tree. All right, first thing to ask yourself. Dotted or solid line based on this?
Solid.
Solid line. Look at your answers. Look at your answers. Which ones have solid lines?
B and D.
B and D. So based on that alone, you got 50-50 like that. Oh heck, it's not going to be A and C because they got dotted lines, and I want a solid line. Now between these two, I want you to see this is the exact same line as this. No different. They both have the same y-intercept. They both have a positive slope. They're the exact same line. The difference is the shade. Look at the shade that we need for this. What is it?
Soft. That's up.
Yeah. That's a greater than or equal to?
Shade up.
Shade up. Greater than or equal to, shade up. So what do we got, B or D?
B.
B. That's it. All you had to do is identify what kind of line you wanted, solid or dotted, and then whether you should be shading up or whether you should be shading down. Okay, here we go. They moved the trash can last hour just a little bit. I thought it'd be easier on me. And I went 2 for 3. So, who thinks I'm going to make this shelf?
Oh, I got you.
Okay, just Jacob. That's the only one, and Brianna's the only one, and Preston. 3 people. And Dalton. 4. I got 4 people. You were not blocking it.
Go.
Dude.
I'm going to miss anyway. Put your hand down. If you block it,
Yeah, we block
block
with the other hand.
Oh no. Rimmed out. So sad. I'm sorry, all the people that face.
I know I chose the wrong side.
It's close. It was because Joey got in my head is what happened. He got me all nervous.
Way to go, Joby. It's all your fault.
Me nerves of steel.
I know. Not when I'm shooting a basketball. That's for sure. I need to be wide open. That's what needs to happen.
Wide open and under the
And under.
No, standing over.
Pretty much. And on the ladder. And, yes. Okay, here we go. Y equals 2/3 x. Is this in mx plus b? It looks a little weird. It is.
Yeah.
This is your slope. What is your b when you don't have a thing out here?
0.
0. Means that you're going to cross at the 0. Notice every one of these graphs crossing at the 0. Crossing at the origin. Okay, so ask yourself, what kind of line do you want if it's just less than?
Dotted.
Dotted. Which ones are dotted?
B and D.
B and D. That's a less than sign. Right there, less than. So here's your line. You want to shade above or below it?
Below.
Shade below it. Which one's got a shade below?
B.
B. How hard is this? We just get the right line, make sure it's dotted, and shade below it. Granted, if they're in y equals mx plus b, you've got yourself a pretty easy equation, especially in multiple choice world. Here's where you come to the first really difficult thing. This is the last example we're going to do.
This one's easy.
Is this an mx plus b?
No.
No, it's not. So you're going to have to get it there. And I want to point at this real quick. Is that positive or negative?
It's negative.
Okay. That should mean something's going to happen. What is it?
Sign flip.
Okay. We won't deal with this first. Obviously, we're going to move the 6x over first. But sign flip is coming. Keep that in mind. If you finish this thing and you haven't flipped the sign, you need to go back and reevaluate what you're doing. I got it down here in the bottom left for you. Let's do this. What we're going to do first.
Plus 6x.
Add 6x to both sides.
Add 6x to both sides. Please, please, please write 6x and 6x, because then you can cross this out, put negative 3y, no flip yet. Please put the 6x though. People sometimes they get lazy and don't put the x with it, and then all of a sudden they go, oh, those go together and make negative 18. They don't go together. They're not like terms. What do you do when they're not like terms?
Hey.
You put them next to each other.
Yeah.
So which one do we want to put first?
6x.
6x, then minus 24. 6x, then minus 24. So it looks kind of mx plus b-ish. All right, you got a coefficient on the y. Here's the big change, the big flip.
Negative 3.
Divide all three things by
Negative 3.
negative 3.
Flip the sign.
Flip the sign, and then let's make sure we get these things right. There's a y. There's a
And then you're done.
yeah. Once we get these, negative
8
2x,
Plus 8.
negative 24 over negative 3 is plus 8.
Then your answer is D.
Yep. And now evaluate really quick. Solid or dotted line for us today? Solid. Which two answers have solid? C and D. And then are we shading above or shading below when we have a less than? Oh, which one shades below?
D.
D. I hope you have no problems with that one. It should be pretty easy. This is the hardest ones where you got to actually make your own mx plus b out of this. Okay, so I was 2 for 3. I'm 2 for 4. Still 50%, which is better than my average. Is this one going to go in?
I got you.
This one's
I
going
got you.
I got you.
It's like, it was, you really don't know. Like, it was close last time. It was like literally just rimmed out.
I'm such
Joby's not even going to phase me this time. I'll pretend he's not even there. It's going in. It's going in. I don't care.
I don't
Every time.
It was short. It was dead on. It was just short armed it. Okay. That's it. No, oh, I gotta make it. This one's further away.
You're gonna miss it.
Well, further away. Way.